Hi everyone, I'm Cindy Walters. Thank you for joining us today. We're here gathered around the table again, speaking with more ladies that have had a lot of success with Shibboleth, and I'd like to take just a second to introduce them to you. To my left, I have Kim, Delina, and Cynthia. And like I said, we've each had success with Shibboleth, and another common thread that we have amongst us is that we have all learned the program online. Online is just a great way to start a new lifestyle, and so I want to talk to each one of you about that today. So Delina, I'm just going to start with you. I know that you've had personal success with Shibboleth. I know that you've started a group in your area, and Cynthia is a part of that group, if I'm not mistaken. And but tell us, why did you choose Shibboleth, and how has it changed your life?
Okay, for me, I had just finished up a week-long cowboy camp that I volunteered at. I had been suffering for a couple of years with issues with osteoarthritis in one of my knees, and it had just gotten really bad. And that week at camp, I was out of breath all week. I was hobbling everywhere because of my knee, and it was too much. And I knew that I had to do something. I knew I had to get the weight off. My sister-in-law had also started Shibboleth about a month before, and she had done really good during that month, had lost a lot of weight that month. So I called her up, and I said, okay, tell me, what have I got to do? And so she told me how to, go to the website, and I got signed up and got busy, and they were starting a challenge that next week. So I did a challenge. I did the Trinity challenge with them, and that kind of gave me foods that, like, I knew I could eat those things on the challenge while I was learning the program, and so that's how I got started.
Well, great. And you've had a lot of success with it. Delina, you've had success with us as well with Shibboleth, and so tell us, why did you choose Shibboleth, and what have you thought about it online, because you're an online learner as well?
I am. For me, Shibboleth was a last-ditch effort. I battled my weight for 30 years. Couldn't keep it off, couldn't get all of it off. And I had some friends that had had great success, and of course I asked them, what are you doing? Sure. They gave me the information, I checked it out, and I've done everything completely online. I've set foot into 2 classes. That was to meet people, basically. But I love it. It's been the easiest lifestyle for me. It's been the easiest change for me.
Good, good.
And I love the fact that I've learned so much about nutrition that I thought I knew and apparently did not.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it's wonderful. I can't say enough about it.
Good. Well, Cynthia, share with us how you got started with Shibboleth and a little bit of your online experience.
Well, I'm good friends with Kim's sister-in-law, Elisa, and I saw how successful she was being. So I thought to myself, I really need to give this a try. It was kind of like a last-ditch effort for me too, because I was very active. I hike a lot, I exercise a lot, but I just was not seeing the scales move because I was having some issues with my thyroid at the time. So I went online, I signed up for Shibboleth. I will say, I heard it was a ministry, so I was like, okay, so these guys are living off of, donations. I just really did not expect the website to be very comprehensive, but to my surprise, it was just so well set up. Very, very easy. I just followed the instructions off my email. I watched all my daily doses within the first week. I really went through them very quickly. And then I went to one class just to kind of reaffirm what I had learned, because I wanted to make sure I was understanding everything properly. But for the most part, I've lost the full 55 pounds just on my own, just using all the tools that they have on the website, especially like the recipes and the resources.
Right. So you've lost 55 pounds in a relatively short amount of time.
Yes, very quickly. I mean, I've been on Shibboleth now for 6 months. I would say my first month, it's that learning curve. So I don't really count it too much because I did a lot of holidays in there. But over the last 5.5 months, I've lost that weight.
Delina, share with us how much you've lost.
I've lost 105 pounds, and that took 10.5 months, and I'm playing with maintenance right now.
Great. And Kim?
53 pounds in 5 months, and I just celebrated a year with Shibboleth.
Great,
So,
great.
so keeping it off.
Keeping it off, and
Yep.
that's the success. Not only getting it off, but the victory, as I've shared with others in the past, is keeping it off.
Yes.
That's been the victory
Yes.
part of it. Medications, I mean, that's something that, prescribed medications, that's something that a lot of folks struggle with, is that I'd like to come off of this medicine or that medicine. Have any of you had experience with coming off of medications, or maybe should have been on a medication but just hadn't got there yet? Have you?
I wasn't on any medications, but I did have high, kind of elevated, I guess, slightly high cholesterol, triglycerides, and liver enzymes. They'd all been that way since my 30th birthday, first time I got blood work done. Oh. And anyway, I had lost weight before. The most I'd ever been able to lose before was about 20 pounds. And whenever I lost weight, the cholesterol and triglycerides would come down, but my liver enzymes never had. But in, I think it was May this year, I had blood work done again, and my liver enzymes are good now. So that was really good to me, because I was scared there might have been something going on, but apparently it was fat on my liver.
Right.
So yeah, it's kept me from getting on medication.
Well, great.
And
great.
we have, high blood pressure and diabetes and high cholesterol and all that kind of stuff in my family. So I was headed there if I didn't do something about it.
Right. Delana, were you on medications?
I was. I was on an antidepressant. I was on medication for acid reflux. I was on 2 different prescription medications for my blood pressure. Mm-hmm. And I've been able to drop the antidepressant, one of the blood pressure pills, and we're doing trial and error with my stomach pill.
Oh, great.
But yeah, it's been phenomenal. And as I had labs done probably 3 months ago. Everything was perfect.
Right.
And that's the first time in years that's happened.
That's great. That's great. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. What else? Activities. What kind of activities do you participate in, maybe that you didn't before, or you find it easier to participate in? Cynthia, I think you said you did a lot of hiking.
I did.
How has losing the weight changed that for you?
Phenomenally. Like, I can go so much farther than I used to. Now, like a 6-8 mile hike is nothing. I can do it every day, all day. I can run without, I was having some starting adult asthma issues before I lost the weight, and now my breathing is really well. So yeah, definitely with longevity, just strength, and just being able to get in a very, very good quality workout. It's made a huge difference.
Great, great. Delana, any activity change for you? Things you've added or?
Yes, I grew up very athletic, and as the weight progressed, the less my activity was. And I had gotten to a point that I hurt all the time. I was miserable. I had no energy, so it was work and go home. Mm-hmm. Now I live for time off because we're out, we're walking, we have gone on hikes, just thoroughly enjoying being more active with the family.
Great, great. Kim, I know you have cowboy camp, and I think
Yes.
that's something you do each year, but I know you just finished that up. Have you noticed a change?
Oh yeah, it was a lot different this year. Last year was actually the first time that I did it, but this year I did 2 camps, and it was just so much easier just to get around out there. So, and I still have issues with my knee. Well, I always will, I guess, but I have a lot more energy than I used to, and I was not out of breath. And like you mentioned, asthma. I have asthma too, but I haven't really had any bad issues with it this year, so that's been a lot better. But one other thing that I think is really cool, when my husband and I got married, he wanted to. We always talked about him carrying me over the threshold, and he couldn't. When we got married, he couldn't. And never has been able to, but this past year, he's done that several times. He just comes up behind me and grabs me and carries me up the hallway or whatever. So that's just kind of cool that he can pick me up and things that he couldn't do in the past, because I'm smaller than I was when we got married years ago.
Right, and Delina was sharing that your son, wants to pick you up every day, so I think we talked earlier about, the pride that we pour into our families, and now we're the recipients of what we've poured into, and it's so neat, to experience
My
that.
son just picked me up last night, as a matter of fact. All about that. When he came up to tell me good night, he picked me up. He said, "That's so funny to me that I can pick you up now." I'm like, it is. And he's 17.
Oh, me. Well, what made it be enough for you? It was time to get the weight off.
I think the onset of asthma, I was having a lot of issues sleeping at night, tingling sensations in my feet. Pretty much I think I was borderline pre-diabetic. Right. And I was tired of looking in the mirror and not seeing me. I haven't always been overweight, so definitely having held on to that weight for a few years, at some point you're just like, I just want to look in the mirror and see myself again,
Right.
So that was big for me.
Delina, what made it be the time for you?
That's hard to answer because I don't know. I had wanted it for several years, and seeing the success of others, I thought, this is it. Let's do it one last time. We'll give it a go, and it's worked.
You chose you, and it worked out great. Kim, I know you said you saw Elise doing and having a lot of success with.
Yeah,
but there still has to be that personal commitment.
Yeah, the issues with my knee it was just getting to the point where I was struggling just to get out of my car and walk in the store, and I knew that I needed to get weight off. But also, Shibboleth just made it easy to do that.
Right.
So
well, good. Well, ladies, we're about out of time today. I'm so glad that you could join me. And just thank you for sharing your stories. I know that there was something said here today that will inspire some of our viewers that will be watching us. So thanks again for taking the 2-hour drive to get here and a little over an hour for you to be with us. But thank you for taking that time to represent Shibboleth in such a fine way. But before we go, I'd like to encourage our viewers today to, go to the website. Check it out for yourself. Learn to live the lifestyle that we have had so much success with. The health, the wellness, the friendships that are built can last a very long time. That support is extra important for each one of us. But until next time, I'll share with you to have a perfect day.